And we're on.
Awesome.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Well, look, I've already done a slight sort of introduction that's separate that I'm going to add to this, but I pronounce your name as Coty.
It's Coty. It's Coty. It's a little different, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know why my mom did it, but
yeah. Well, okay. So it's classed as like Coty, like as if it had a D, but it's with a T. I say so. It's Coty. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because my partner calls you Coty Kuhn.
Either way, hey, the Kuhn part's right. Yeah, that's good on that. Yeah. Either way, hey, I know what you're talking about. It's all good.
Yeah. So anyway, look, so just for my audience that are listening, so I got Coty on to talk about cryptocurrency and a crypto called Telcoin, and not over that, more to that, and how we both think that the cryptocurrency is going to sort of merge with the future a little bit, and have a bit of an understanding about a few things. But to touch on Telcoin, what you think that Telcoin's going to do, and everything that's just happened with the V3 opening up, and I've got some tabs open, and we may be able to share some screens and
share them up, please.
But I'll just I've got some notes. This is actually the first time I've made some sort of notes. I normally just sort of go off the bat, and I'll just tell you what some of the questions that I was going to ask you. But
yeah,
I seen one of your videos, and you were on the DM page.
Yeah.
And you said a couple of things, and you said something about it's built on Rust. So I don't know if you just said that the foundations is built on Rust, meaning the base is not fully supportive, or you mean like Rust is a specific thing, meaning Rust is a blockchain. So that was just a personal question I had myself. But I'll just lay them all out. Okay. And then, so let's just say that Ethereum is the mothership of the blockchain on that side, right?
Yeah.
If I don't say it correctly, I hope you understand.
Oh, no, I got it. Yeah.
So Ethereum being the mothership on the side of the blockchain in the DeFi space. So we take it down a tier, and then you've got all these other sort of platforms that all feed off the mothership. And then this is where it kind of goes into Polygon or Matic Polygon. Mm-hmm. And then from that, Telcoin is branching off from Matic Polygon, correct?
Yeah. So essentially, Polygon or Matic, originally known as Matic, just rebranded within the past, I think, a couple months, probably about half a year. And basically, what they do is they run a side chain of Ethereum. So they keep the security part of it, and then you're able to blend the other models into it. So you're not, running into any failures, I guess. So you're trading off a little bit of that centralization, because Polygon is more of a centralized part of it, and obviously Ethereum is more just decentralization. But then continue.
Oh yeah. So to tie this into that, so I think my question for that is so Matic needs Ethereum, so is Telcoin to Matic the same as Matic needing Ethereum? That was the kind of question towards that. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I got you. I don't. So they need them, I would say, right now for just scaling implementations, just for TPS, anything related to that, because as of right now, without Ethereum 2.0 out there, obviously you're not able to follow through with that throughput. You're not able to get those, reach as many people, but then you're also not able to get those tiny microtransactions at a fraction of a cost without, overly, paying. So I think, Polygon is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on, because, it just provides that 2.0 now, essentially. But I know how people obviously don't want to, wait, another year, 2 years to be able to actually, use Ethereum to scale. But I personally believe that, Telcoin will obviously, probably use all these different blockchains. So I know that we've seen about 2 weeks ago that they, jumped in with PolkaSwap. So, that they're obviously building on Polkadot. And I'll tell you this too, I haven't really talked about this one as well, but I have seen where I think they're building on ICP as well. So the internet computer. So I think they're doing that. I think they're building on Solana as well.
Yeah.
So I think that again, they're pretty much going to be at the end of the day, the decentralized financial application that offers these products to these telecoms, mobile money operators, and then they're meshing them together through this Rivendell network. And then you're saying like, whatever blockchain you want to operate on, it doesn't matter. You can do that, and we're going to provide that for you anywhere, anytime, to anyone. So that's what's really cool to me, is just like no one's excluded from this. And I know that we're probably going to talk about, I don't know if we had talked about another one of these companies, but maybe I'll bring it up throughout here. But just why it's not just dedicated to smartphones. It's not. Okay. And I hope everyone knows that.
Okay. Yeah, cool. And then the other one was, is Telcoin what they thought XRP was in 2017?
I would honestly say, so here, let me give you a little bit on my reasoning behind this. That XRP was probably one of the first ones that I made a little bit of money on. I bought it probably, I came into the game a little bit later in 2017, but I was able to actually scoop up XRP at like 12 cents. And then I rode it up to like 90 something cents. And then I sold out, so I was able to look at that as a product, and I was like, okay, well, that's good because they're working with banks. That's awesome. That's automatically going to probably create value. Whether or not I like the banks or not, it's going to create something. But they took a system that's not necessarily broken. It's just controlled more through centralization. So again, it goes back to what problem are you trying to solve? And does blockchain need it? So yes, it does need that. It needs a ledger to where everyone can see it. But is everyone going to go to Ripple and then, just use Ripple? No, that's not going to happen. So again, whenever I look at XRP, what's up?
I was going to say, because Ripple is what they actually use, the Ripple net, but the XRP tokens isn't connected to that. But it's like, is X something, but the RP is Ripple?
So the XRP is basically, from my understanding, it's just the asset. It's a transfer of value. It's an ODL. So it's basically on-demand liquidity, and they're able to use it. But it's only active from the last time I checked, which was like last month, I think, was Mexico and Australia. Those are the only two places throughout the entire world that uses the ODL. And even then, to what extent? And my thing is here's what made me lose interest. And it was all the way back in, I think it was early 2018. There is no incentive. There's no reason for anyone to use that token. There's nothing. Telcoin did it right because they said, hey, we have the token and we'll give it to you to partner with us, and you can expand your reach and just build off on that product, and you can collect a portion of these fees. The problem is XRP said, hey, and I would argue the reason why Telcoin got rid of some people was because of this same exact reason, was they were willing to say, you don't have to use the token, you can just use our network. That right there is you're completely destroying the value of your cryptocurrency or your asset because there is no incentive. So what's the point? There isn't one. If I can use the same thing and bridge any asset, why would I use that and risk validity? No, I'm not going to. So that's the whole thing. And banks see this. They're not dumb. That's the reason why some of these companies are working with just specifically Ripple, and they're not saying XRP. And that's the reason why you see all these articles, and all these articles will say Ripple partner does this. And it's like, dude, you're literally trying to make this narrative fit. Stop doing that. So that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the XRP community itself honestly believes that this is all going to turn around, and how it ties into this, financial system reset, and like, I mean, I bought XRP last year when the COVID crash happened, or the thing, and I think I picked it up for about 28 cents. But like, I'm not there expecting it to go to $50 or $100, but there's people out there that are saying, like, in the 500s, because once this new financial system adopts to it, well, it's literally going to have the global current, or the global net worth currency into that as being I don't know if I say this right, but the liquidity to it, if that makes sense, which will then drive the price up. But then if that is the case, well, then if they use the XRP tokens between themselves, right, that then XRP can then go on sort of the stock exchange to say like and that's how it's going to be sort of used, but then all the XRP tokens would then have to be given back to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that XRP is not going to succeed. I'm not saying, you know, I think that it does have its place in certain spots, but I'm going to weigh my bet and say that I'm going to take reach over, you know, banks any day, because if I can use a mobile phone to be able to transact with anyone with just a phone number, then why would I, you know, not everyone has a bank. That was the whole point of the thing you know, Telcoin was developed because of that. So I think that, you know, again, it's looking at everything and saying that, okay, yeah, if one does good, that's great for the whole. So let's go ahead and let's look at it, you know, let's, you know, check it out. But I think that people are just very jaded because nowadays these influencers, man, and this is the reason why I have a really hard time with some of these influencers online, because they're actively promoting these tokens, but they're already past their prime to some extent, you know? And so instead of actually trying to help these people see these assets that are actually worth something that are lower cost, dude, these can change your life. They're promoting these tokens and saying that, you know, Ripple can get, you know, Ripple's just the example because we're talking about it, but Ripple can go to $500. Dude, there's almost no way. And that would have to be literally you would have to replace it as the world reserve currency.
900 trillion that the market cap would have to be, or around those numbers. So that's what I mean. Like it would go to 900 trillion if that whole value sort of went into it as
that's everything. That's a global thing, you know. There's just to me, that's highly unlikely, man. And you know, it's just, first, let's start with how many people you got using it. How many people are using it first before we go ahead and start saying it can do all this.
Before you say that, since on that, I just went to share the screen. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
So I'm just going to quickly share it, right? Because what I want to find, since we're on this topic, not the V3, but the latest, I don't know where I'm going to find it. I've got this page open too. Yeah, if you did, because I think you might have touched on it. And I've got this open because I seen a video where you got to here. Where is it? And then you stopped and you went, I'm not going to say anything. You got to, and you just so I wanted to, but we can save that for the end part. But where could I find where the 16 different country connections are? And we'll just sort of talk on the reach that they'll have. Like, you know, do you know the one that I'm talking about with all the different countries that have?
Oh yeah, with the new ones that just came out, on the 8th, about like all the new partners, like the 22 new partners. Yes. Go to the Telcoin Twitter page.
I think I'm on your page here.
Just go to the Telcoin one real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Telcoin team.
Oh, while we're here, if anybody wants to check out Coty, he's I
appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's just his
YouTube channel. He's got a couple of videos there. He'll tell you more about Telcoin than what I could. There you go, check him out there. Quick little flick. But okay, so now where do you want me to go?
Just keep scrolling down a little bit, because it's going to be down a little bit. But they have
around mid-June.
Yeah, I would say June 8th. I think it is. Yeah, right there. Isn't this? I think it's this one right there. Either that. Is that the one you're talking about? No, well, just click click that.
But there's a whole. If I click this link, is it?
No. That's the download link.
It's the one with like all the like it's just got all the countries that it's just tapped into, but then also to what they actually do, like say like the Gcash and then the Alipay and then all those.
Let me. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Wait, is it something that I created, or was it something that someone else created? Do you know that?
I think it's just so the 16 countries that they just connected with. It's the list of those countries, what they connected with, and it's a list of what they're connected to in a sense of their telecom reach.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, that was something. Yeah, so that I put up. Oh man, I put so much stuff out now that I honestly even
So that was just you that put it, but would I be able to find that at all? Or?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up on here or look at it real quick, and then I will go ahead and, because I know it's something that I put on here. 1 sec.
Where am I here? Oh, I'm in December. Yeah, it was the last sort of semi-launch before the V3. It was the one before the V3. So I just don't know if it's on the Telcoin.
Okay, I think I'm going to tag you in it right now. What's your Twitter handle?
It's the game experience, I think, or Xperi. Might come up at Xperi 2. They're not coming up.
Here, what I'll do is I'll take the link. I will copy it and I'll send it to you in your Twitter. I'll send it to you in your Twitter DM.
Yeah,
so that's okay.
Twitter is a bit.
Okay, there we go. I see.
Is this it here? No, this is...
no. Here you go. I'm pulling it up right now. I think this may be what you're talking about.
Okay.
I just sent it to you. It's in your messages.
Oh, how do I get there? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's Greg there. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, that'll do, bro. You can see that.
Yep.
Cool. So, so basically, so far, these are all the countries that have just sort of partnered with Telcoin, correct?
Yeah. So these are, so on the left-hand side is pretty much all just the mobile money operators in general. And then you can see I didn't get to, put it in another one to where you can see the countries on the left-hand side, but you can also see the mobile money operators on the right. So like Indonesia, for example, you'll see that you have the Dana or Dana, GoPay, Linkaja, and you can see like Nepal, you can see Pakistan and stuff like that. And then on the right-hand side is the actual telecom operator who owns it, and then, or the parent organization of it. So right there, to me, people are just, they're not really understanding, I guess, the whole reach of it. Dude, these are some of the biggest telecom operators in the world, whether or not that they're using the mobile money part of it or not. If you're looking at Vodafone, for example, or let's take Airtel. I think Airtel is the second biggest telecom operator in the world, and it has over 450 million users. And that's just out of, I think, India.
Malawi, is it Malawi Airtel Money?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's just, so Malawi would be, that's the country though, that they're first starting in, obviously. And then Airtel Money is the name of it. And then obviously Airtel is the actual company. But
so then basically from that, it'll be, so Airtel itself, whatever their customers are, they'll be open to, if marketing goes by, then they'll be open to accept and say, hey, like, we've got this. And so like, let's say that, that Airtel has a, just roughly, but I'm sure I heard you say that one telecom company had like 300 million.
Yeah. So let me I actually pull that up as well.
Was it? I think it might have been a South African one that I heard you talk about. But so basically, it's like, even if it just touches on the 1% of that, or you'd want more than that if it was 300 million. But like, that's the market that it's touching. And I mean, it seems like, looking at this to me, like you'd go, like these to me look like the countries that sort of need what Telcoin has to offer. Do you know what I mean?
It's an actual, we're taking it, and I want to make this clear too. And, maybe some people don't understand this either. We're not just talking about it being a cryptocurrency. It's actually going to be used as a cryptocurrency. It's not going to be like, everyone likes to talk, oh, we're going to be used as a crypto. No. It literally, I would say 85% of these tokens or coins that are out there, obviously they're just wanting the price to go up. And don't get me wrong. Yes, that is what we all want, but focus on the part where it's actually being used. Who is using it? That's the thing. These are the people that will use it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's what I mean. So it's like, if its reach is, say, instead of me going to a Western Union, and a Western Union in my village is like 5 kilometers away, but I've got a mobile phone. I've got the Telcoin app. From that, I can transfer that currency, that country's currency into use Tel, then I might have somebody overseas, and then, I can goes from there, your contacts. So you saved, phone numbers, and then they've got that value of Tel, and then they can convert that to fiat, and they've got the money. So that sort of works in that space. You know what I mean? Obviously, me saying that, I don't mean like, once you've got that Tel, then you can use Tel to go and buy milk, but it's more to sort of tap into that sort of space.
It's like, think of it as like an international currency exchange from centralized financial assets and then decentralized financial assets. So you're getting that bridge between, both the worlds. And then again, it goes back to, you don't need the smartphone too. You can have both phones. And so there's another one out there. So I'll tell you about it now. I might as well. I've been paying attention to it for a while, and it was developed by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation because they're the number one, I guess, funders for mobile money for the GSMA. So you can actually see them at the top too. You see the Bangladesh Bcash, right? I never thought that they would be a partner. And the reason why was because I was, again, going back to that.
They're a partner of Telcoin?
Well, Bcash is. So Bcash, which was out of Bangladesh, that was one of the ones that they offered, and it was made in conjunction with those banks up there, Ant Financial, which is Alipay essentially, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which we know the GSMA is there, and then here's another little tidbit for you. Back in 2018, I think it was around November or October, in the Nigeria newsletter, Financial Inclusion newsletter, Telcoin was labeled right next to Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And I know that they have met with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on more than one occasion. So you also have you have the IFC as well that's involved, and we have the, I think it was the UNCDF.
Is that a part of this? Different, no?
It may be different, but okay. The person I was going to get back to was it goes back to a company called Mojaloop, and Mojaloop was developed, pretty much for these brick phones, to where that you could have, this cohesion of mobile money and connecting the outside world through APIs, and it is open source. So that's again, I've said before, the DM thing, that's probably one of the top conspiracies that I have, I guess you could say, or speculation points. But my end game is Mojaloop, and it always has been since it started, because it seems as if there is ties to it, and that Telcoin has yet to show that they have implemented into non-smartphones. So Mojaloop being created that can bridge these assets, that it doesn't have a specific, and it can use cryptocurrency, because I've read the specifications in it, and they just won the ISO 222 from the SBI. So the International Bank of Settlements, the IBS, I think it is. So they could actually make a currency, and then also, why is Telcoin 2 decimals? It's to mimic fiat as much as possible to not confuse people. And so I'm not saying that, Telcoin is going to be this, asset to rule them all, again, but I'm saying that it does bridge these assets for these people that actually need it. And there's an incentive to use it outside of, because they gave it away. They gave it to these people.
Well, just while we're sort of on that, just, just to sort of tap into now, just we'll go back to here. Just a quick question. So where do you see cryptocurrency itself? Just a question. In the future, do you see like more global adoption with cryptocurrency, and can you see crypto itself? Like, where do you see it in the future? Like, where are we at this sort of beginning point now where we're about to adopt and transition to it?
Yeah, I would say that, it's obviously an ongoing and slow process due to, just regulation and governments not wanting to actually say, hey, we want to, it's about giving up, that centralization, that hold they have over their country. And I do see that once people obtain that knowledge, and that's the reason why, we do what we do, is because we want to, get this information out there. Once people actually see the intrinsic value from using these applications or these different types of protocols, then they're going to do it. Because if you don't have to talk to, obviously social interaction is what you want, yes, but if it's an inconvenience in your life and you can get paid to not be inconvenienced and you're improving your life, you're most likely going to do it. And I think that even in these third world countries, second world countries, and even first world, the reason why, first world, we don't really need it too much, but these people that actually know the value, I've been to Africa, man. I've seen how these people live. They don't have bank accounts. They don't go to the bank, and it's just, once you can have that value and that trust, and most of them don't trust their governments. So they're going to trust these telecoms who have been helping them with their mobile, devices from the get-go. So if you could have a bank account tied to your phone, but in a decentralized way, no one telling you what to do, I'm telling you, man, these people are going to do it. They really are.
Yeah. And
so it's going to catch on within, I would say probably within the next, within 10 years, big time. But I would say that we're still, this first mover thing, there's a reason why, Ethereum's where it is because people chose to, oh, well, let's see how they do before we actually, move, our process along. But that first mover is key, man. You need to put your thing out there, figure out what the problem is. And people are going to naturally, again, going back to the AMA the other day, you got to get your hands dirty, man. You got to see what it's like. You may lose a little bit, but that's why they're perfecting it now and making it simple for the end user within one mobile application anywhere. So
I look at it. I just go, well, number one, you're not stopping it, and it's taken off. That's it. It's like it's taken off and catch up. Like the train's left, and you better get to that next station, or that's it. So that's basically the best way to sort of put it. But like how, when you got sort of the media's propaganda to it, how it's the worst thing ever, or it's not going to work, and everything's going to zero, and it's goes against carbon or all this other stuff, but that's just them sort of trying to crash the market to get on board themselves, to make some form of profit. But at the end of the day, if we are so digitalized, and it's basically like having the conversation in the late 80s and saying that the debate between the fax machine and the internet, or the email, it's like, well, the debate is that, well, you're on the fax side. This is the email side. So the email side won, right? And if that conversation would have been said in the 90s. So this is kind of where it is with this whole new way of
what did it go back to? It went back to convenience. It went back to our usage overall. And that's the thing. It goes back to what can make my life easier without actually really intruding in it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's all here, and it's, it's all on your phone. It's like a lot of people say, like, I can hop on a plane and go to the other side of the world, and I've got that value on me, and I don't have to ride on declaration on how much money I brought into the country. Like, there's no one, like, you get charged fees, but it's like, who cares? Like, you've got that control of it. And I think that it's like people have been enslaved in this system, and this is almost like the answer to get them out of this enslavement, so it is sort of the sort of the money for the people to say. So,
it's like, it goes back to, freedom, and then you have financial freedom. What do you want to do? It's up to you,
Yeah. So, look, man, I've got these other ones up. I mean, I could tap into now.
Let's go through it. I'd like to go through them again.
I do. So look, I've just got this open. I don't even know what to say about it.
Let's scroll down a little bit, if you don't mind, if we can go down a little bit, because I don't have the link, I don't think, on here. So the IMF, the Asian. So one of the main reasons that this stuck out to me was because in 2017, I think it was, and I apologize for my dog's barking. I
can't hear it. No,
okay, good. So, the obviously the IMF, the World Bank, the United Nations Capital Development Fund. That one really rang out to me again. And I'm not saying this is tied 100%. Again, I like to make things known. But the MAS has also played a very big role in, Telcoin's development in their startup stages. And if you've looked at pretty much all the landscapes, you can see that there was Paul had said, the CEO, we have to start in the Philippines and it has to be, here. But there was never a reason why. So I went back and I pulled up some articles. I've read so much stuff, since late 2017, early 2018. And I found to where there is a connection between, Alipay and, how they're moving things forward, like as testing things. So Gcash was kind of like a test, and then they rolled it out internationally, and then people started using it for, paying your bills or, just doing anything, just kind of like this open hub to where you're not tied to a specific application, and you can, jump into other things and actually, play games, earn rewards or whatever it is. So it's weird because if you look at the same partners like Linkaja, which is owned by Telkomsel. Yeah. And the same thing with Singtel, which is with their Singtel Dash. You'll see that a lot of these are just interconnected, but they're connected in phases. And so Telcoin saying that they have to start in the Philippines where Gcash originated, it's almost the same language. It really is. And again, that could be a coincidence. But it's all in order.
So you mean like it's sort of like a 2.0 upgraded version of Gcash? So
they're
going to get rid of Gcash and then adopt to this?
Well, I don't think it's that. I think that it goes back to bridging, and I think it provides the overall ecosystem of mobile money. That's what they want. These telecoms want to have what would get people interested in mobile money. Well, cryptocurrency. Because it's the big thing.
Yeah, well, correct. That's it. So it's almost like it suits the purpose of the mobile network themselves. Do you know what I mean? And if you're going to, like over here, you've got mobile providers called Vodafone, Telecom, Optus, and a few others. It's almost like, okay, well, if I go into a Vodafone shop and I want to buy a mobile, I want to make sure that mobile is going to give you every single thing, that you need to draw that buyer into it, where it's like, you sealed the deal. But like, if they do use the modern way to move money, well, then you're limited. So you're only going to get, say, 60% of that. But if you could just draw in those extra people to come over to you because it has got that extra feature, meaning that now, this transfer of digital money to someone in like this foreign country, a more easier way, safer way, you're doing it yourself. So it's like, maybe like, I get what you mean. If that's what you're trying to say of, that's where the telecom are getting like this extra part. So they're starting to accept this new technology to it. And that makes a lot of sense.
I do want to say too, it's like, it goes back to, probably these past 4 years with just lack of trust within certain agencies, within certain, organizations. Yeah. Do you trust, and there is a bunch of, go up right here, scroll down a little bit actually, because that goes to the next part, down a little bit more, down underneath that survey. Right there, stop. So I'll get into that in a second. And so it goes back to people are losing trust within these organizations that say that they got you or they're protecting you. And so what is it, who questions their mobile phone provider? No one questions that. And who has the biggest reach? Well, if we're looking at it from a currency standpoint, who could provide the bigger reach? Well, telecoms could. So the thing is if you never have to question this organization that literally could act as, because they're all, spread out as different, organizations, those are the nodes, man. Those are those little, that's that little centralization that you're kind of giving off. But if you're, giving that out there and you're able to connect everyone to this huge mobile money ecosystem and saying, hey, we can keep a ledger here, we can provide this reach, and you can get paid by, providing liquidity essentially and helping support the cause within mobile money. Because again, I think it's more of a globalist approach, in my opinion, the way they're going about this with kind of like UN sustainability goals and things like that. But it's just, I don't think it'll be a world currency. I think that it will be something that complements the whole service overall and says, hey, it doesn't matter if you have X, Y, or Z. We can provide something that can help you integrate it, you know, together all in one. And I think that's where Telcoin, they had all the right pieces with the right advisors, the right people. And as soon as I saw them, man, I was like, and again, end of 2017, man, I saw it and I was like, this is it. I think this is the one that's really going to separate itself if they can really do it. And they're showing that they've done it. They've already laid that foundation for others to be able to walk on. And that's what's very important.
Are you an ambassador for Telcoin?
What is it?
Are you an ambassador for Telcoin?
Well, I guess if we're still holding on to that since 2018. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I was probably one of the first rounds, and man, it was back then. It was really cool, man. There was a lot more hype, and it's crazy to see as that bear cycle hit, man. So many people left. So many people just lost faith, and it's like.
So how long did that bear market last? When was that? 2018 into 2019, or?
Oh man, the bear market, honestly, dude. So I'll tell you my own personal story on it. I invested $13,000 in Telcoin when it first came out, and it got me 1.3 million Telcoin.
Oh, wow.
I was one of the people that I didn't know cryptocurrency. I didn't know what it was like. I didn't really understand it. And this is the reason why I try to educate people too, is because I'm not joking, man. I've dedicated my life literally outside of, you know, work, you know, that I do now to just understanding or trying to understand and educate people. But I watched that $13,000 go down to literally 1.3K. I lost literally almost all of my money. And you know, I'm not a dude I'm not wealthy. I'm not, you know, crazy rich. You know, I'm just some dude in Florida, right? And it hurt. I sat there from you know, I didn't know what stable coins really did. You know, no one talks about that. All the people on there are like, it's going to go back up. You know, Bitcoin's going up. You know, every day that's like that. And it's like, just don't listen to that. You know, look into the stuff, develop your own opinion. But I watched it go down from all of 2018. 2019, I pretty much stepped back. I said, you know what, dude, it took a big mental health toll on myself. And I came back at the late, you know, 2019, I sat there and the bear market lasted and it just gradually went down, down, down. Telcoin lost so many Telegram followers. Everyone just stopped believing, stopped saying anything. And it lasted all the way up until literally October of last year, 2020.
Yeah. So you never, are you,
when it hit bottom though, you know your boy picked it up. So
I got a similar story, but just a quick question. I hope you've loaded your bags more.
Yeah, I have. Okay. You know, definitely did.
Okay. I got into crypto last year when I seen the COVID crash, and I just watched everyone else just be stupid about COVID, and I'm just like, what? Like, whatever. Like, this is when people get rich, like when markets crash. So I just dived in and I just bought everything. I think I invested about 60K of my own money, not into Telcoin, but like into other crypto. And I just like, because there was a part of me that knew what was going to happen with the banks with closing down the economy, because I knew, like our conversation off recording, you know, that I just knew that this had more to do with what was just a bit of the sniffles, you know, and this COVID thing. So I knew that the banks were going to affect them. Like, if you close the economy and the US dollar crumbles and the inflation happens, then the banks are going to go broke, and then the government takes over the bank, then your money's not safe. So I started tapping into all that, and I'm like, I don't trust, because I've got a roofing company. I'm like, I don't like, I've worked so hard to get my roofing company where it is. I'm not just going to let that happen. So I panicked and I'm like, well, I'm going to put my money somewhere else, you know? And it was just like 60K. And I sort of watched the market go up and down, and you know, just over a news report from who was going to be president or not between Trump and Biden. Like, I watched the market go up and down and then up, and then I seen it peak as soon as they knew that Biden was going to sort of go in more. But in between that time, you know, when the CEO of Telcoin stepped down, Yeah.
Claude.
Yeah.
I don't pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
Hewitt or
Well,
something.
so
Wendy.
so my buy-in to Telcoin was like, say, the $5,000 mark, but it got me. I think its value, you know, kind of went up to sort of like $17,000, which is almost like the same value of yours, not the amount that you sort of hold. And as soon as he stepped down, because I think he went over to another company called XPay or something like that, or 10X or X10 or something, whatever
10X.
it's called.
Yeah, 10X.
He went over to 10X and it dropped down. So I was at like 17,000. So Telcoin was my highest holding and like the biggest. And I'm like, yeah, all my other ones were like just, you know, a few thousand, like that was still stuck on the money that I put in. And Telcoin just went up to like $17,000. And then he stepped down and it went all the way down. And it was like on like 3,000. Like I lost the money that I even put in. And I'm just like, and then my partner was like, you wait. You know, you wait, Telcoin number one, you wait.
She's seriously been a huge supporter, man. I can't thank her enough. Seriously.
Yeah.
I've seen her. She's been there for a long time. And I don't know if she was there since the beginning, but seriously, she's been there for a while. So hats off to her.
Yeah. So, and she kept saying, and she said all this stuff before. So wait till August, and then he left and then it crashed. And then I went, Suki, listen to me. You like, you know, it's December, January now. And I'm like, listen, you've been saying to me every month, you wait and see, mark my word, Telcoin. And then you just start to see all these things happen. And then you're just like, oh, wow. And you know what, man, I've watched a couple of your videos and this isn't like a personal thing, but I've seen you speak and I've kind of picked up on your body language a little bit. And I feel that you are not shocked, but you're shocked because I think that what you deep down believe Telcoin is, it actually has become. And what it has become, it's like, oh my fucking God, like this is fucking big. And like, you know, not whether it ties into any, you know, bag holdings or anything like that or anything like that, but it's just like, wow, because it's like, I think when you're a part of this, you know, like this space does not exist to the outside world. Do you know what I mean? Like this crypto space is its own community. And in the outside world, you're filled with so many things that are going to go wrong in your life. You know, you hop in your car, you get a flat tire, your car breaks down, you know, always money problems and bills and debt. So when you come into this space that is volatile and all it takes is a tweet from Elon Musk to fucking hundreds of billions of dollars are out of the market, you know, like you're like within inside you, you know that like, you know, things good don't come in my life, you know, so, but you get that. And like looking at Telcoin, like probably in the past and getting to here, like you've completely broken your internal disbelief on how you think that this is going to change your future of your life. Because now, like, I think that if you get what I'm saying, like, this could be life-changing for you in a sense, right? Not saying, you know, anything ties to value, but like this sort of breaks down the program of like things that you can't do in life and things that you can achieve. And it's like, yeah, like, so if you kind of understood how I sort of worded that a little bit, might have been a little bit in like cryptid sort of, but yeah, I've just seen a couple of your videos and I just feel like, I just think that there's a part of you that's just like, you sit there and you present something and you talk and you're like, no, like I'm not making this up. Like this is a big thing. Telcoin has become a big deal. And it's like, wow, like I believed it and it's come and it's to be. So yeah,
it's definitely been, you know, man, it's been a wild ride. And I know that from just a monetary standpoint, like you said, yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's helped my, you know, me, my wife and my, you know, family out. And I have 3 little corgis and a cat, you know, and
3 corgis.
Yeah, 3 little corgis, man. So
the queen loves them.
Oh yeah, she does. So, you know, once you take them on, it's like knowing you're going to hit the lottery. You don't know, you know, when it's going to happen, but you're sure it's going to happen. You just don't know when. And I think that's what Suki was trying to say to you as well. It's like, you know, it's there. And when people start to realize that, it's only a matter of time. And even with just the stuff now, it's like, you know, I don't even care. It's because, you know, again, the monetary value, whatever. It's like, I try to tell people, I've told everyone, dude. And I honestly, man, I've told my family, I've told so many people, and they didn't listen. You know, they listened after it went up. And that's, you know, it's disheartening to see that, but I understand. No one wants to take money and not really know what's going to happen to it. I get that. But the people that did listen to me, man, and the people that actually stuck by my side through the entire time are like, dude, Coty, you're right, dude. That's really weird. It does make this, you know, weird connection, this sense. Those people have reached out to me, man, and said that their lives have drastically been altered. They have gained wealth beyond they could ever comprehend. And dude, that to me is more important than any amount of money I could ever make, is if I could, you know, affect someone else's life in a meaningful way. And you know what, dude, just give information that just helps someone. I'm going to do it, man. I am. And that's just who I am. But I love it, dude. The people that were behind it, that really are supporting, it's an actual solving a problem. And that's what I really love, is they really care about the people opposed to the profit. And that's what's great.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, you know, and again, when I was saying what I was saying, like I didn't want to include like a payday. That's not it. But it's like the internal belief of like, hey, this has become what I thought, and I believed it, and you know, stuff like that. Where it's it's actually come to
fruition.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just like, just prove this stuff, you know. Prove
I can give you this too on that. You know, I know I talk along parts of it and stuff, but over the years, and I think this is the reason why that maybe people, you know, come to me for the answers, or, you know, maybe because I have seen this stuff kind of come to light, is it's like I've watched these people grow. I've watched them. I've seen who they are as people. Yes, I've been able to see who they are, you know, how they operate, you know, who they talk to. Just certain, like you said, you watch my videos and you see my mannerisms, the way I act, and you kind of get a good idea. I do that with them. And whenever I did that, I started to see there's these connections that would come up, or just the way they would speak, or the way that they would, I don't want to get too deep into the method of my madness, but I can say 100% it works. It really does. And I've been able to uncover multiple different partnerships based off of different types of things and the way they interact with everything.
Well, I think that's kind of where I felt like when I brought this up to you before, when you were talking and you brought up this DM thing. So this would have been called Libra, correct? But it's now classed as Diem. So this is Facebook's tap into sort of this realm of things. Do you think that this will be functionable? Because I heard that, well, not functionable, but do you think it'll go live and use? Because I mean, it does definitely sound like it would work on the Facebook space. Because I think my take on how crypto is going to work, that if companies kind of be their own community themselves, in a sense of sort of like being a sector or a zone on the grid. So if we sort of transition into this 5G network, and then it's going to be like this grid network system that's going to work from AI and through Elon Musk's sort of satellite system that he's doing in this Neuralink thing. So whether the actual companies themselves will then be their own sort of blockchain or their own crypto thing, where you go onto that space and you'll be using their currency to use through their platform, you know? So it's like, you got to use a payment service. So it's like, well, you know, YouTube might have their own, and Twitter might have their own, and so on and so forth. So you get where I'm going with that, right? Where, you know, Libra could fit that, but, you know, I heard that it sort of was getting smashed by China and it couldn't. And, you know, next minute, from what I've seen from a video you done, you know, now I've noticed it's called Diem. So that's why I'm kind of asking, like, do you think, I think it Facebook probably will sort of use it within a sense. But do you, like, I know that you got through to reading and you stopped, and I did have a question for you about you got to a point and you're like, stop. So where were going with that? I mean, I suppose this is sort of a personal like my own personal question towards you to answer something for me, but.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. I think it's getting to the point to where I should be more open about some of the stuff that I really do feel is out there. And so what I was going to say is also, if you want to pull up another tab, or go to Google and type in Novi, Novi. Novi is essentially the wallet that will house Diem. And if you look at the way that wallet is set up, you will realize that it kind of just mimics exactly what Telcoin is. And so the reason why this came up to light before was, and I gotta say, hats off to Josh, their UI developer. Thank you so much for just even pointing that purple thing out, because that's what made me start to question it more. And again, this isn't tied to the purple thing. It's not, but it made me look more into these things and see the connection between the two. And it's essentially just a wallet, but it's almost the same exact, thing as Telcoin. But to go back to your question, back whenever, and you can see it used to be called Calibra or Calibra, down at the bottom right.
It's got the DM logo in it.
Yeah, so this is the wallet that would essentially house Diem. And if you look at the same setup of the way it is, obviously look at how it's almost identical to Telcoin, but just a different type of, layout interface, like color scheme, a little different. However, you got the simple interface at the bottom. So nothing, it's not meant to be, super crazy, you don't need a bank account, blah, blah, blah. But going back to what you said. So I think that back when Libra first came out, now Diem is basically, you started to see a lot of traction. You started to see a lot of momentum. And I think that you had these huge telecoms that were looking at them. You were seeing that, Verizon was part of it. You were seeing Vodafone was part of it. You're seeing that MasterCard, Visa, all these people were like, yes, we like Libra a lot. It's very cool. Awesome. Then it started to get heavily scrutinized, started to get heavily beat down by these regulators, these governments, and saying, hey,
because of China's influence on Facebook, and it's going to go against the digital yuan, but continue.
Exactly. So you see that they ended up switching it, and it has since rebranded. Now, what is it now? It's more of a mobile wallet, and it has a stable coin, which is known as Diem. That is pretty much the bridge for these other stable coins. I started to question, that's pretty strange. But after the scrutinization happened, now hear me out. This is just kind of maybe my own little conspiracy on the whole thing. But during the time that this was all like, I don't know, they were getting scrutinized, Telcoin was very slow moving, very slow. It was very silent. You didn't hear much. You were kind of like, okay, what's going on? Well, after that happened, it seemed as if Telcoin started to pick up. After everyone started leaving the project Libra, and obviously this is before they rebranded to Diem, Telcoin started to move fast, like really fast. And it started to make me question now, is the reason why they're getting this success now is because those like MasterCard and Vodafone, they dropped Libra and said, you know what? If it's going to have this much problem, let's work on that Telcoin that we had. And I think maybe that Telcoin was that backup plan, that if that Libra came out of nowhere, that one sounded great, but since it got scrutinized and they wanted to get out of that, they transitioned and said, okay, let's just go with Telcoin, and we can actually make this work almost exactly the same exact way, and let's just bridge them together. So I think it was, again, the perfect storm. It was with COVID. It was with, Libra. It was with, who they had been talking to, how Paul has had all these connections. Again, Paul isn't just some dude, man. He is a smart guy. He has a lot of connections. He has worked with many telecom operators, and he's a successful guy. And so I think, and there is a connection between this Novi and the team. Again, method to the madness. I can't kind of get to it on that part, but I will say there is a connection to it, and it is highly possible that Novi is just another mobile wallet that Telcoin could integrate with, and we could be seeing that, man. Seriously, and if that's the case,
when you say integrate, what do you mean? That it'll be like a part of each,
offered,
if Novi,
I guess you could say,
if Novi is an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And Telcoin is an exchange, are you saying that they're both going to be accessible on each device if they're an exchange? Is that what you mean, or?
Possibly, not to the extent. I'm saying that it could be that just like these mobile wallet operators, I think that Telcoin could easily be put into there, especially if they're trying to do the same exact thing as Mojaloop, and then Mojaloop backs the very same thing Telcoin is so strongly for and has shown so much progress in. Obviously, we've seen with the mobile money operators they just came out with. If they're able to announce 22 of some of the biggest operators in the world, what else do you have? You have to have something if you're nonchalantly saying that.
So you're saying 22 Telcoin, saying that they've just tapped into 22 of the.
Yeah. On the June 8th with that the picture that we had shown on the Twitter, okay. that was huge, man. That's massive.
I've removed that photo that we had up before. So yeah, well, look, man, you can see up here too. It's got like that's Messenger, Messenger here, and then WhatsApp here. So it's basically saying that
and it goes back to Diem being it's all developed on the Rust blockchain. And so again, I know we didn't get a chance to say that part because I was jumping around a bit, but so Telcoin came out and said, we are going to be an open source blockchain, or an open source, all of our code's going to be on GitHub. That never happened until literally like last year, man. Like everything that they had on there was a fork of another repository, and they just put on there. So you started to see that I started to look at all these different blockchains. I'm like, how are they developed? How do they work? Cool. But why is it that Telcoin is only building Rust specific, things, or their code is, specifically Rust? Sorry if my mic's too low too, by the way.
No, man, that's all good. Yes. Okay. So you can continue with that, but yeah. Okay. Because I misheard when you said Rust. I thought you meant Rust, meaning like it's a Rust foundation, which means it's got no footing, which means.
No.
Yeah.
So no. The code actually itself
is Rust. Yeah. That's what I wanted you to clear up for me personally. So yeah, continue.
Yeah. So even on the DM GitHub page, it's, you could even see it on there. It's literally made in Rust. And it's very weird because you don't hear about DM at all. You don't hear about anything on it anymore. So again, it goes back to the whole Rust. Why are you using Rust to develop all your stuff? Now, is it because maybe it's not well known, so the securities are probably going to be a lot easier to manage? Possibly. But when you have a net of all those telecoms and you're, still being able to, piggyback off of decentralization security as well, especially with, maybe multi-signature wallets, you'll see that, security's there for them, and they know that, so I think that's the biggest thing that's taken so long, is just, trying to implement all these centralized systems with a decentralized unit.
So, and this is some of the
not nearly up to date. Yeah. Not nearly up to date.
That's the older one. So, I don't need that up anymore. So what's, I just went here. I was going to try and see if I could get Rust up, but I even if it popped up, and I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, let me see. They may have. I got to see if it's. Scroll down. Right there. Go to the right, where the little cat logo. Clear to the right, or the little ear. Yep. Click on that.
You've been here before.
Yes, sir. Too much time. Too much time on here.
I've got Rivendell up, and then I've got the Telx home. I suppose we could probably close the Novi.
Yeah, the Novi's good. Yeah.
How are you doing for time? Are you want to?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I got about another about 30 minutes, then I'm good to go. So around 11:30, if that's okay. So
you can say all the time numbers in the world. I wouldn't even know.
Sorry. So about I got about 38 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, because it's So where am I here? So right, okay, yeah, right. I got you.
So yeah, it's just an open source. They're obviously all their code that they're having on here, and obviously you can see Diem. Diem's mission is to build a trusted, innovative financial network that empowers people and businesses around the world, and it's developed on Rust, and it's a blockchain. So again, will Telcoin maybe migrate over there or just make it another interoperable system. Who knows, but again, why and who's using this and why is it being created if we haven't heard anything about it? So it's just paying attention to the overall ecosystem, I guess you could say, and, possibly could be wrong, but I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, when you think about it and you hear the words such as Bitcoin, bit being computer bit or and so on, like for what Telcoin does, it's got the perfect word for what it does. And, Bitcoin, Telcoin, telecom coin and this transition where it's all leading. I mean, it's someone, what's DM? It's like a pair of jeans. Telcoin. Oh, okay. A telecom coin, crypto coin. Okay. So you know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, it all seems like it's
people overlook that too, though. That's the funny thing is, look, they overlook the name and they're like, well, just because it's called that doesn't mean anything. Dude, marketing is key. And if people, people need to know that.
Yeah, like it's where it's at, like it's not, you can't, that's it. So is there anything you wanted to show me on here?
No, I was just saying, just for people's reference so they can see, it's there. I mean, it, obviously you can see it was updated about 8 hours ago. It's a blockchain network and we'll see exactly, what comes of it. But that's something I've been keeping an eye on as well.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, so look, so what did we go into the 1st of July or the 2nd of July? But they've just the V3 when they opened it up and they released all of this info, that it's has now sort of what we can see here from. I'll let you talk. Do you want to start on Telx or Rivendell, or should we?
We could just scroll through it. I mean, I'm totally fine with whatever. So
this is a part of what has Telcoin integrated with Rivendell, or Rivendell is a part of Telcoin?
So Rivendell is basically it's going to be their network. So it's a network of, telecoms, mobile operators that are acting as nodes on the network. And so throughout that, you can see even just from the logo itself, it does it very good. You see you have this full stack solution, based off those little tiny servers, all powered by the Rivendell network, basically, creating this cohesion of trust, security, and compliance. And then, you have those financial services. Now, if like the mobile money landscape too, like Gcash was one of the first like newer like types of integrations, but then M-Pesa was the first one to pretty much start it all. And so going back to the team, the advisors, they had I think his name was David Morrow. That's what it was. He created the security model for M-Pesa, and then Paul, the CEO of Telcoin, kind of started talking about we're creating the mobile financial services 2.0, and the first 1.0 was M-Pesa. So, and you've seen that there's been a lot of connections. And again, I've called it before with the eCiwa in Nepal. I said eCiwa is a partner, in Nepal, if the data they gave us is accurate. And it turned out that it was accurate. It was 100%. So then that tells me that in Tanzania, we're waiting on that partner is going to be M-Pesa. So that's going to be one of the ones that's going to help bridge this stuff together. So, and we'll see, yes, powered by Telcoin. So, and you can see right there, even Rivendell is an open Ethereum sidechain run. So it's not its own blockchain, but yet it is something else that complements the whole system overall that can kind of go between, all of them. So it's cool.
Yeah, okay. And then you can see here too, the GSMA, which is that other partner as well.
Yeah, the GSMA again is like kind of like a standard for just telecom operators and stuff like that overall. And it's that's what's pretty crazy though, is the mobile money is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That's what's crazy, is just specifically. So
Bill Gates, hey.
Yeah, I mean, hey, however,
where would we all be if it wasn't for Bill?
I don't know, man.
So
probably be someone else out there doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he could just be the proxy puppet for it all, but without going down that little, woo woo rabbit hole. So, so what have we got here? So we've got an ecosystem to power telecom, mobile, financial services 2.0.
So basically they're being able to, provide all these different services, and which some of the things that I was pretty impressed with was just, even when they said regulated securities as well, asset exchanges, obviously, the built-in exchange, full stack financial applications, you're getting all these different types of things, whether it be, they're saying you could top up your mobile phone with it, whether you pay your bills with it, essentially international remittances, domestic payments. And the greatest thing about it is the holders make money off of all of these. And that's to me, that's what really, gives me hope, for the space overall, is people like Telcoin saying, hey, dude, it's not about us. It's not about us specifically. It's about all of us. And that's the thing, is like, you're creating a system to where no matter who you are, where you are, when you want to do it, we all benefit equally. And if we share and we build on this, we can create that new system that everyone's longing for. And so it says without needing to be a bank or custody funds. And that's how they were able to, I guarantee you, help get that Nebraska bill passed, was because they're not taking the liability on directly. They give you all, and I guess you could say the word, or I don't know if it's a metaphor or whatever, but they give you all the rope long enough to hang yourself, because, they give you all the tools, but you're only going to hurt yourself, if you don't understand certain things or you put things out there. So they're just providing just a great ecosystem for people. And I mean, if you look at the community too, these are people that seriously care. There's a lot of people there that are really like myself. It's like, dude, it really makes me happy to see that someone out there is looking out for, it's that trust. They're looking out for all of us. And that's the thing, is like, I trust you because of that.
Yeah. So, so at the moment, it's only sort of Nebraska that sort of passed this sort of bill to allowing it to be a digital bank, correct? And is there any other states that are going to?
Wyoming and Texas. Yeah, those are, Wyoming already did it, and Kraken is actually already, they're actually already a digital type of charter. I don't know exactly the name for it.
But will Telcoin just be based in Nebraska in the digital bank sector, or will it go to other states, do you reckon? Or
I mean, I would like to think, try to, do as much as they can wherever they can, depending on if it's needed or not. But I honestly don't know.
So does that sort of mean that in Nebraska, Telcoin might be like a bank that you walk into in the street, being a digital bank, or is that correct?
You could. I could assume that, but I don't think that they would actually be able to, again, since there is no custody of funds exactly. However, you could probably see people there actually, working on maintaining systems and things like that. So kind of just like an overall IT department.
So basically it could sort of say that maybe it will be working out of Nebraska.
Yeah, headquartered. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. So Telcoin will be an exchange as well, correct? Or
yes, through the Telx. Yeah, that's correct.
So we'll get Telx up. So have you probably you're definitely going to be familiar with crypto.com, obviously. So will Telcoin be like crypto.com at all, or?
Does crypto.com have a web-based interface or no? I've never really checked.
Explain a web-based interface.
So like, how like if you went on Binance, like Binance has a mobile application, and then also you can go online. They have the mobile, like an actual exchange on their
there's two. So you do have the crypto.com app. Completely different to crypto.com online. You may be able to download a wallet onto your computer that is like the functions of the app that you got on the phone. But if you go into Google and have it come up in your browser, crypto.com then becomes like an exchange like Binance, and it's very tricky to navigate, and it's a little bit different. So kind of. So is there anything else on this? Not really.
Yeah, not really. This is pretty
Yeah.
much, I think like kind of just the network overview in general. Like once everything's kind of been, battle tested, then, they get put onto the platform. And again, one of the questions I asked in the AMA was, about, is Telcoin building these applications or other people building them? I asked if the telecoms or these mobile money operators are, and they had said that they are implementing the applications. So once they are built by the third parties and they've been battle tested again, then they'll, implement them into the application. So,
yeah. So just quickly, decentralized finance. So decentralized finance being DeFi. So decentralized meaning that it's opened to everyone and it's not centralized, meaning it's not attached to your usual banking cartel, Wall Street cartel, and that part. So decentralized is that it's an open source for people basically, and it's not centralized.
Yeah. So you could go on there. I think it's pretty much, and I think a lot of people have the problem with the KYC, and that's mainly what separates usually, in my opinion, a decentralized system from a centralized system. Again, that's one part of it. Yes, I guess you could say that's kind of the compliance side of it. But then if you're looking at it from the other point, where you have the centralized, then you have one person pretty much controlling the whole lot, opposed to, all of us.
Do you think that the governments can come in and completely take over and manipulate the whole space? I mean, that's probably a question. It's just, who knows, what are they going to do? Like, it's almost like what I was saying before. It's about like, the train's left and it's, whether you get on and, Bitcoin and like, I kind of believe that if the US dollar crashes a little bit and all this inflation happens, that Bitcoin might be the reserve currency of the world. Like that's sounds a little bit, fairy tale-ish, whether it does happen or a happy ending to a sense. But I feel like there's too many forces trying to bring it down that you'd literally have to do a full knockdown rebuild of the earth to allow that to happen, considering you got this rise of China. So while you've got this whole rise of China, I don't think you'll ever see Bitcoin be that or become that. But, in a sense, it may be a part of something similar, but maybe not as big. But that being said, I mean, like, I feel that maybe for the whole world not to adopt to it, but for the whole world to accept to it, hopefully not, but saying that in a sense of hopefully not, meaning let's hope that the government just doesn't come in and lasso the whole space and go, no, like if you guys want to deal with crypto, you got to come to us now, because now it's open for us to all access. So, and it's cool. There's no stress with it. So
you got to pay attention for the people that give you that little bit of centralization, just a little bit. And once, I get it. The trade-off is, you don't want that little bit, but if you trust that little bit, then then I think that's okay to, open that full, the gateway afterwards. So.
Yeah, that's it. Well, look, man, I've got this whole, well, you can see Telx now. So Telx, so we got here Ethereum, Polygon, QuickSwap, DFX. I was actually thinking about maybe getting some Matic, but I don't know, maybe the price of it at the minute, I think it's about $1 something US, which could maybe be in the dollar mark. So do you see?
It's like 1 to 125, I think, somewhere around there. 1 to 125.
Do you see much of a sort of, I don't know, maybe a higher rise to a sense of Matic? Do you see big potential, or it'll just maybe stick around that and just service, not like a stable coin to a sense, like where it sort of stays at that price, but you see big rises for Matic at all, or?
So honestly, I can't say 100%, man, but I would say that, again, it goes back to whoever's trying to, I guess you could say scale now, or whoever wants to have those fees on Ethereum and not be limited. I do see it going. I've also heard that many big partners within, Tel are kind of looking at it. So I think as a short to medium, opportunity, yes, I could see it. But I there is no price point in my opinion, because I really don't know. I think the technology's there. It's a very, it's a good asset, and it helps bridge, multiple different things, but I honestly couldn't say. I would say short to medium term, you could see maybe a doubling, a tripling maybe, but we'd have to wait and see. But until 2.0 comes out, there's going to be, there has to be something, and they provide that now. So what's that worth? I can't say.
Yeah. Because I contemplated on just jumping over there and just using.
I was looking at the DFX though. The DFX. Have you looked at that as well?
Did I just here? Where's that?
Yeah.
On the exchange.
They haven't added it yet, but
okay. Is that actually on an exchange to buy it or not?
So here's the thing, man, is so you take, obviously some of these aren't, out there, but this one is, but they just haven't updated their coin market cap, or they haven't updated their coin gecko. So if you take the contract address and you put it into Sushi Swap, you can see that it is for sale there. You can actually get it. So right now, and this is just my opinion, this is me just talking, but I went ahead and I made I guess you could say about a $15,000 investment into it. What they're doing is kind of, they're providing real-time pricing through oracles, through Chainlink, that give real FX prices whenever people are transferring, back and forth stable coins between different countries like Singapore, the euro, the Canadian dollar, and the United States dollar. So you're not, getting any of that arbitrage or anything like that, from people trying to make a profit, buy here and sell there.
Is DFX classed as DFX finance?
Yes, DFX.finance. I think
is it around this is Aussie dollar conversion, but like 66 cents, so maybe like 40 cents?
48, 49 US.
Okay.
So I bought that, and I'll give you my opinion, because I'm going to cover it today whenever I do my video about the whole Matic thing.
2 million market cap with the 3.7 million circulation supply, and if that's the case, then a little bit.
That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, buying in to me, Australian dollar 66 cents. I mean, that's obviously you'd get the converting it from the dollar value, depending on how much you kind of bought. So if you $1,000 and it gave you like $660, like looking at that, and even like a small $1,000 sort of investment to that at such a low market cap, and the small supply could
well, look at who they're talking to too. That's my thing, is look at that's going to be in the reach. And I've looked at the code. DFX is, and they've even come out and said it now, but DFX will be offered in the application, and I was going to tell you again, I've been staking it, for the past week. So I can give you a little bit of a rundown on exactly. Yeah. Let me grab my phone really quick, and I can pull this up for you so you can check it out.
And where do you buy that? You buy that on Sushi Swap?
Yeah. On Sushi Swap is where I got it. You just take the contract address and then put it in there, and then you can go ahead and purchase it again, because it's not listed on Coin Market Cap or anything like that.
So do you buy it with USDC or something, or Tether, or do you buy it with Bitcoin, Ethereum?
Wait. Let me double check. Hold on one second. I actually forget.
If I was to go on a Sushi Swap, I don't know because I don't know how Sushi Swaps work, but I don't know if they'd be able to take out my Aussie dollar onto their platform to buy the DFX. Like how KuCoin works? Yes. Yeah. So
so this one, it's a decentralized exchange, Sushi is. So I would say it's maybe, you could use Ethereum, because it's going to route you the best overall price. And so you could go ahead and do that. But let me show you real quick on here. So just to give you a figure on here. So it's at 50 cents right now. My total value in it is about $15,000. So again, if you're looking at that $2 million market cap, that's really low. And especially there's 100 million to ever exist. However, those 100 million won't be all given out until I think a 94-month period. So again, that's for people providing liquidity, blah, 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 So for me, what I did, and what's great about it is, because this is the same thing that Telcoin is going to offer to a certain extent, is you go to Sushi and you provide liquidity. So you provide 50-50 of DFX and of wrapped Ethereum. And in doing so, you'll get the Sushi Swap LP tokens. Now that obviously gives you a portion of the pool overall, and you get an actual percentage of every transaction fee that goes in and out of that pool. Now, I don't know how much, I think I have maybe about 2% of the pool right now put in. So I can't check the fees exactly on what I've made unless I completely take my LP tokens out. But I've been staking them for, am I able to share my screen by any chance?
I think you should be able to. Let me have a look.
Oh, it says host disabled.
No, hang on.
All right.
There you go.
All right, sweet. Here, let me, there we go. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do this. Can you see my screen?
Can I see you and your
screen? No, my screen, yes, my screen. Yes. Okay, as long as you got the screen, good. Yeah. Okay, so so again, this right here, and the APY does change, right? It will change based off of how many people, come in and out of the pool, but the total pool value is about 782,000. My value that I have staked is roughly $10,000, and I have about $5,000 or something like that I haven't staked because I'm trying to keep it under the 10,000 because it's still, again, it's a, they say at the top, if you scroll up, it says this is a highly experimental, protocol, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to wait, but again, it's past that point in my opinion.
So you've earned.
Oh yeah. So 382 within the past week. So if you take the 382, obviously I can pull up my thing. Let me see. So let's take 50 cents times 382. So in the past week, I made almost $200 at the current price for just letting it sit there. And that's excluding all the fees that I have probably been gaining within the Sushi Swap.
How long do you have to stake it for?
As long as I want.
All right. So you can,
exactly.
You can pull that from the stake. So, and this is all on the DFX app, correct?
Yep. Oh, the DFX Finance with the, on the, online. So this is kind of, and the reason why I did this too, was to show people that this is going to be sort of how it works for when people do the Telcoin is you're providing liquidity through Sushi Swap. And in doing so, you're not only gaining a portion of those fees, kind of like the, what Telcoin's talking about, but you're also being double incentivized not to pull your liquidity out through the token. So that's where Telcoin is, doing it. That's pretty much why all this stuff is developed, in my opinion, is the people that are probably investing in DFX are probably the same people that are associated with Telcoin to a certain extent or know about Telcoin. I could be wrong, but they probably now it's it's well known. But again, 282 is about 200 and something dollars for no reason a week. You take that again, you could, if it's 100% APY, you're making $10,000 a year for no reason.
Have you looked at price? Have you looked at sort of the, if I say this correctly, but the amount of wallets that are out there? Like, is there like hundreds and hundreds? There are a lot of people involved in this.
Let me see real quick.
I'm just thinking for myself. Like, I'm thinking
let's see. Here it is, 50 cents. So there are only 451 holders. So there isn't a lot. And the top holders. So I can give you roughly about look how many, how much people have in here. And look at the value of it. Again, there's not, as of right now, it's because people don't know how to get it. In my opinion, is because again, you were like, well, where is it listed? Again, you have to take the contract at it, and most people don't know that, and that's okay.
Scroll up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. So these right here again are just some of the main ones. So you have the Sushi Swap. So these are all the ones that are provided on that the decentralized exchange, and then you have this, which is most likely this one and this one. This one's probably either a team wallet or a big investor. One of these two are. I would argue that this one is most likely for, it's not an investor, but maybe like a backup type thing or something, or I don't honestly know. But this one right here is most likely overall going to be released during that time. And so that's literally 62 million, and there's only a total of 100 And if you look at that's the fully diluted. So if we look at the circulating, it's less than 2 million, dude. That's insane.
So does that mean that if, say, person with number 2 wallet with a value of 16 million, that means that if they were to sell that, they couldn't sell that with a market cap of 2 million, right?
Yeah, no, they couldn't. Yeah, it's not there. So yeah, they wouldn't be able to do it.
Is that what they call it when they go, had the rug pulled out?
Well, yeah, to a certain extent, but this is the thing too, is like, you got to have liquidity to be able to make liquidity, or you got to have money there, to be able to actually, take that money. So it's about who's actually buying it. Is it the money really there? But again, in my personal opinion, this is obviously, it's going to be implemented within Telcoin. So I don't think it has anything, bad or foul play at it. But I did do the staking just to kind of show people what it's like. And that's what I'll be including in my video.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's, I'm thinking about, I might just buy a little bit.
Hey, that's not financial advice, man.
No. I mean, it's, I sort of calculate everything, not for like, what you'd get in a sort of return, but what would you sort of, like to see it come into, but, something like that, even $1,000, $2,000, to have what you'd sort of want, a couple of
a little position. If you look at it realistically, I think whenever Telcoin, before it really blew up, back in, I want to say October at the earliest, or the latest, it was at a $20 million market cap, maybe. And so this gives you,
got over $1 billion now. Is that right? Or
I think it's almost 2 or maybe 1.5.
Yeah. I think it got to 4 billion Australian when it went to about 8 cents Australian. So it would have been like
crazy.
6-7 cents all time high.
Yes, it was about that. Yeah.
I was surprised when I seen BitBoy Crypto do a plug on it the other week. And
I actually saw him in Miami. I didn't say anything to him because he doesn't know who I am, but I actually looked at him and, he looks like the same dude that he is in the videos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You might get a shot on going on his around the blockchain little thing.
That'd be benefit. That'd be very cool. Man, I'd love to educate, just anyone that'd be watching his show or, but again, I'm just, who knows, I just kind of go with the flow. I try to just give the information out here. I don't, I don't do this for, notoriety. I do it because I think people really do need information.
Yeah. Yeah, cool, man. Well, we're almost there in a sense of
oh yeah, it is.
How much you almost done from your 38 minutes?
Yeah, I got about 10 minutes left, brother.
Yeah. So I did say that just a bit of a background on yourself. I know you said a little bit at the beginning of this that we didn't record, but yeah, man, like tell us all about yourself.
Yeah, sure thing. I appreciate that. So I spent most of my life, I'm in the military. I was 8 years in the military, from 2011 to about 2019. I was a combat photographer and videographer for Special Operations Command. I've been overseas, a couple different times. So I've actually been able to get that real hands-on and actually realize value in some of these things. And I think that's probably naturally why I kind of gravitate towards Telcoin. I was born in Spain. Dad was in the military, came over here. I've been in the United States, pretty much other than that. Right now I work down here in Florida, on base. Other than that, man, I have, 3 corgis. I got a beautiful wife, got a beautiful home. I'm blessed, to be alive. And, I just, any way that I can, kind of get out there, man, and try to help people where I can. And, I'm glad to, you've asked me to come on and, talk to you and just try to, do a little bit more. And I really do appreciate that, man.
That's no problem, champ. Listen, do you reckon you could do a Jimi Hendrix solo with that guitar behind you or not?
Well, hey, man, I can do the intro, but hey, man, I'm practicing still. I'm working on right now. I'm working on Van Halen "Hot for Teacher." So I've been doing that for a little bit. So
yeah, cool. All right, pal. Well, what I'll do, I'll end the recording in a sec. But yeah, thanks for coming on, and no doubt we'll talk again, and maybe next time we talk, we might do a recording on the channel for America itself, you know,
Yeah.
and where we see the future of where America sits and stuff like that. So
I would love that, man. I seriously would. I think that's very important to get, you know, both sides of the argument wherever you are. I think dialogue is key.
Yeah, for the sake of the world, humanity, and everything, like, people need to be aware, and this is a global thing that we all face right now. And you know, it's all about the community, and it's all about uniting, and it's all about being aware. And you know, yeah, like you know, we sort of touched on a bit of it at the beginning, but like, I feel drawn to that. But then you see the crypto, and it's like, cryptos, if this all comes into play, like, crypto's gonna have some, you know, some ups and downs, and some big bangs if all of this sort of, you know, goes bad. So
yeah, that's very true, man. And you know, obviously only time will tell, but it's, you know, hey, we'll see what happens. You know, people just need to educate themselves, and yeah, I look forward to that one as well.
Yeah, it's the long game. So, all right, pal, we'll thank you, and we'll talk again.
All right, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I'm just hitting. I'm just a stupid ending.
No, I got you. Thank you.